Hey, welcome. We're going to briefly, in just a second, talk a little bit about how what I think is the most exciting energy plan unveiled by the 8 of 50 states. And I got to tell you, we're going to turn over to Commissioner Miller to talk a little bit about it, and others here will as well. Before we do, I just want to mention some good news in addition to the best energy plan developed by any state yet. I'm heartened and grateful to Senator Leahy, to Senator Sanders, to Congressman Welch, and to all in Congress for understanding the extraordinary challenge that low-income and disabled Vermonters are facing as they wonder whether the LIHEAP program is going to allow them to stay warm this winter. There is nothing more important to Vermonters than ensuring that our friends and neighbors have enough heat. It's a basic right. Today we received news that the House and Senate have made great progress in agreeing on a plan for cold states that will direct a disproportionate amount of the dollars that they allocate to Vermont and other cold states, and that the number will be closer to the Senate number than we had thought might happen. We don't have the exact numbers yet on what that means for Vermonters, but I can tell you that assuming that this gets to the President's desk and signed by President Obama, which I know he'll sign it if they can get it there, before the holidays, it will give comfort in this holiday season to Vermonters who rely upon the LIHEAP program to stay warm, that we have good news coming. Oil is on the way, and no one will freeze in their homes this winter. So I wanted to start off by giving you some good news from Congress, which is all too rare. Now, having introduced our Commissioner of Public Service, Liz Nelson.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming today. This is great. Nearly a year ago, I accepted this position from Governor Shumlin, and I asked him, what did he want me to do when I came to the Department of Public Service? And the first thing he said was, I want the department to come back into its statutory mandate to make sure that a comprehensive energy plan for the state is completed during my first term as governor. And I said to him, sure, no problem. Sounds easy. And it has been a very engaging and interesting and important process, and it's one that I want to share with you a little bit today. And I just want to thank everybody standing behind me and some of the folks who are out in the audience as well for being such an integral part of the process. So let me tell you why I understand Governor Shumlin put this in his first year priorities. The state had not had a comprehensive energy plan for more than a decade, despite a legislative mandate for such planning. There was no strategy or long-term vision at the administration level to help frame the policy choices. Instead, they were happening project by project, town by town, as things came before the Public Service Board or an Act 250 process, and et cetera. So having no guiding vision from the administration was something that Governor Shumlin wanted to change, and he wanted the Department of Public Service to lead the charge. So we got to work soon after I came on board. We had a commitment to complete the comprehensive energy plan within a year, and here we are. There were a few things we wanted as a team out of the process. First and foremost, we wanted it to be a transparent and robust public process. We wanted to make sure it engaged all agencies and departments that touched upon energy policy. This is not the world that we had back in the 80s or before, where energy policy was all about centralized power plants in single locations, fanning out to communities. Instead, we're now in a world where energy choices touch upon all of our lives, all of our communities, and really come across agencies and departments and state government as well. So having that team together was a goal of the plan. We wanted a credible and comprehensive document to come out of this. We wanted to lay out the facts about where we are in energy here in Vermont and why we believe we can achieve our goals that are laid out in the plan. We wanted to explain the reasons that the policy goals are important, the environmental and economic benefits that can come with it. And we wanted to make clear that when this planning process came to an end today, the real work really just begins, because implementation going forward is the way that energy policy will turn into energy action on the ground. And so while I'm very excited to announce that the plan is indeed completed, I'm looking forward even more to the work that will come in the following months and years to ensure ensure energy progress here in the state. So I believe we fulfilled the goals that I just discussed. We had an internal process involving major cooperation, both at the Department of Public Service and other agencies and departments. I have a large team from the department here. I'm sure I won't get everybody, but Kelly Launder and Karen McNeil and Asa Hopkins and Andy Kirchlick and TJ Poor and Ed Delhagen and George Nagel and Sean Foley and anybody else I missed, and Matthew Walker, and others at the department were integral to getting this done. And I should say, you might notice that Governor Shumlin said when I took the job, oh hey, get this done in the first year. That wasn't otherwise in the department's immediate plans a year ago. And so when I came in and talked to the team, they really had to get behind the goal, they had to understand what it was we were doing, and they had to work very, very hard to get it done in light of all of the other work at the department. And so I really appreciate all of that hard work and thank them for being here today. Other agencies and departments were key as well. If you look at the plan, and let me just show you what the cover looks like. Here is volume 1 of the Comprehensive Energy Plan. This sets out the vision of the plan. We have a second volume of facts and recommendations and then a third volume of appendices. Most of the work in the appendices and in many parts of the plan is thanks to the people standing behind me and others standing out in the audience, specifically the Agency of Commerce and Community Development and Commissioner McKay's department. Did a lot of work on land use, and Joss Bessie's here, and thank you for the work that you did. The Agency of Natural Resources contributed a great deal to the plan, including to the appendix on forest best practices for management. The Agency of Agriculture, Buildings and General Services, and I see Commissioner Obahowski out there in the audience, and Deb Baslow, thank you very much. The Department of Health was involved and has included in the final appendices for the plan a description of the public health benefits and risks for energy policy and how the Department of Health will be involved going forward. And there are many other examples, VTrans chief among them, and I want to thank Gina Campoli for being here today. Sue Winter couldn't join us, but Gina and Sue and the rest of the team at VTrans not only helped, but did lots and lots and lots and lots of work, because transportation is indeed one of our largest energy challenges, and so thank you for the work that you and your team did. I'm proud of Vermonters as well. This process engaged over 9,000 separate comments. We had over 18 meetings, including 5 public hearings, of course. We had a website where we collected all of the comments and all of the transcripts for the public hearings and all of the presentations that were made. We've issued a report, and I think we have copies here today, summarizing the comments that we received so that all of you here from the media can get a sense of the comments that Vermonters gave us and just how engaged in detail some of those comments were. So again, I think energy policy is hard sometimes, it's difficult. There are often disagreements on the choices, but despite those disagreements, the process was both robust and respectful, and the engagement level by Vermonters was very impressive. And finally, of course, I'm proud of the plan. The plan sets forth a vision to put Vermont at 90% renewable energy in all sources, including transportation and heating, by mid-century. That is an ambitious goal, but it is achievable if we do the hard work to get ourselves there, and if we recognize the progress we've already made. We're about 1/4 renewable in all energy sectors right now. So moving to 90%, although significant, is certainly something Vermont has a history of being able to do and can move forward on, particularly if we spend the same level of hard work on transportation, heating, efficiency in the coming decades as we've spent on efficiency in the electric sector and electric renewable policy in the past decades. And so I'm very excited to see the plan with the recommendations setting the long-term vision. But I'm also realistic that progress neither will be nor really could be linear. We're going to have to set policies now to achieve progress accelerated over time, particularly in the transportation sector and in the heating fuel sector, in order to get Vermont to a place where we can be nearly fossil fuel free by mid-century. And so again, Vermont's been a leader in the past. We anticipate, expect, and are committed to Vermont being a leader in the future with respect to energy policy. And I just really want to thank all of you today for coming, and thank you for the hard work on the plan. I do want you to hear from a few of the other folks who helped with the planning process. I think Pat Moulton-Powden will give us a few words on how this aligns with the work being done at ACCD.
Thank you, Liz, and thank you, Governor. We're very excited about this energy plan because for the first time it aligns our energy policy with our economic development strategy. One of the pillars of our economic development strategy is to create jobs in the renewable energy, energy efficiency, and energy efficient vehicles sector. We have excellent companies in Vermont working and growing jobs right now as we speak in these sectors. NRG Systems, SB Electronics, to name a few. We want to continue to support those companies, and by putting our policy aligned with renewable energy, we're actually putting our money where our mouth is. We're going to deploy these technologies and these innovations as existing companies develop them, and as new companies that we seek to attract here develop these new innovations. And it's best to put your money where your mouth is, if you will, when you're trying to attract companies who are engaged in this sector by demonstrating your commitment to that sector. That innovation also is another pillar of our economic development strategy, which is innovation and an emphasis on STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. We have a need for more students to engage in STEM in our K-12 system and our K-16 system, quite frankly, and this is an opportunity for us to continue to keep those people here in Vermont, our young people, and attract new young people to Vermont. Last but not least that I'll comment on is the fact that renewable energy helps us assure our secure, safe energy future. Energy is a huge issue for Vermont companies. We currently enjoy one of the lowest electric costs in New England. We need to maintain and enhance that position. We know we have secure, competitively priced contracts going forward. We will and need to continue to maintain that. We recognize that we may not build that on the technology that exists here right now, but as we've seen solar and other energy efficiency and costs come down, we know that innovation will continue that trend. So as we seek to expand our renewable energy portfolio, it's a chance for us to provide the security in that portfolio by growing those jobs, growing that technology, growing that energy production here, and deploying those resources with contracts we might do with others. So this is an exciting opportunity for Vermont to really walk the walk as it relates to economic development and energy policy. So I just want to congratulate Liz and her team for putting together such a great plan. Thank you.